welcome to episode 83 of the FOMOcast. We're recording on my new setup for YouTube, using my phone and a rig and a mic, and we're going to see how this works. Who knows? We can't go Facebook, we can't go YouTube live until we have 1,000 followers. So, if you're watching this and you enjoy it, like, subscribe. I'm going to try and figure this out later on tonight. I got to do so much stuff for it. It's insane.
Too much stuff? It's time to scale it back now?
No, it's fine. So, we have the Pod Bros network, podbros.com. We took off Father's Day, obviously, and then things just got crazy over the weekend. People were, Titus was out there hiking mountains and stuff. So, we just took a little bit of a break, but no, it's more of like, I'm trying to learn the technical aspects of it. There's so many different editing software and trying to do certain things. Like we said, make sure you go podbros.com. Go do all the podcasts. People, they've probably been getting held over by what we've been doing. So, like, we haven't been doing anything, but they've been doing stuff. So they listen to their podcasts. We come back, people listen to ours. I will say we do get quite a bit of listens, the first 4 or 5 days we put a podcast up, so thank you all for listening right away. Thank you, Timothy Mendonça. Sorry I sold that Ricky Henderson bobblehead to somebody else, but I'll think of you next time.
Look at my microphone, it just fell down like that.
Oh
What's
no,
going on here?
I don't know. It went limp. So the reason why it's hard too is the first thing we'll talk about is the new Harry Potter game came out. So you know the new Harry Potter game?
No, I don't. I've never heard of it.
So they had a Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So they have one that's called Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Oh, it's on your phone?
So it's on your phone. Same kind of concept. Well, people are doing this thing where they play the game and they're also recording their face. And I'm like, I've spent an hour Googling what are they using to screencast the screen and also record their face at the same time. I have no idea what they're doing.
Do you watch these videos?
Yeah.
What's the point of watching these videos? Is it part of the game?
It's kind of just an aspect of people want to know what happens when you encounter certain things. It's more of when you used to get the game strategy guides for PlayStation back in the day, where you're trying to see how people do certain things. So I'm truly excited about it. For those of you on YouTube, when you watch this, it's an amazing game. I like the concept. People are mad because it's a little harder to earn energy to do different things in the game.
But how do you earn energy?
So basically, with Pokemon Go, you have Pokestops. With this one, they have inns and they have greeneries. And basically, different stores and restaurants and places like that are greeneries or restaurants or inns. And you go and you dine at an inn, you can get energy. So it's a whole process. It's really fun when you think about it to just get out there, be active, walk around. I really enjoy Harry Potter.
So you have to walk around like Pokemon Go?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, you could technically do it just sitting in your house and do it. There was one joke, I'm a part of a Facebook group where it's not about the game, but they're just a generic group. And they're like, I'm at my work and look at my work, and there's just stuff surrounding their building because they work at a college campus. So, that's what happens. But we'll see what happens with it. Some people are angry about things here and there that are just, they're dumb. They're just complaining to complain. It's one of those things. So I'm really excited for it. I like it. But watching those videos, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to step up my game. My goal is tomorrow I'm gonna do a lot of work, clean up the bar, clean up my yard. I want to make it to where basically we could have a space in that corner where would be our recording studio, will be over there in that corner. So it's more of us looking at the camera better off than right here. I mean, as you can see, there's a beer tap for my bar right here. It's a fat tire one. Titus was very disappointed it wasn't real. It's not tapped. Also have the Budweiser Ice Draft right here, beer tap. But it's one of those things where, I want to make it a better setup. And while doing that and then also doing the editing, we're going to see what happens. I'm going to also experiment. I'm going to take it with me tonight to a softball game my brother-in-law's in. Try and just mess with editing.
You play softball?
I used to. We celebrated my 18th birthday at a softball game where they're like, you're finally legal, because you have to be 18 to play.
Oh, okay.
And I was playing at 17 for my dad's softball team.
Did you see any fights? Have you ever seen some fights?
No, we played one team one time. They were a bunch of IT guys, and they would get mad if you'd slide. This isn't the big leagues. But what?
Why are you guys sliding on? I can kind of see that. Why are you guys sliding on softball?
Because you're playing to play. It's you pay money to play the game. You know what I mean? You're gonna get all of it out of it. But they had, we had girly soft hands. It was just, it's one of those things.
I don't know about sliding about softball. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, well, I mean, you can't slide into first. I mean, first has the separate bag. First has the orange bag. You don't even tag.
I don't think I've ever played like softball.
So softball, they have an orange bag. That way, you don't have a collision at first base. So you run across the orange bag. So this was a slide at second, and it was legitimate. It was like we were going towards the championship, things like that.
All right.
It was serious stuff.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, I get it. It's fun. When my dad plays in a beer league one where they don't keep score, they actually kicked a team out because they were dressing up and they were beating everybody still. So they have like women's night, and then like dead celebrity night, and they would dress like fully up and they were beating everybody in dresses. So people were like, yeah, this is getting to be a mockery kind of thing. But back to our plan, I want to get Titus out of here on a crisp. I want to do 30 minutes just so I can edit. Like 30 minutes editing would be a good one to start off with. So, so did you watch that show that I told you about? I remember a long time ago.
Right. No, people have told me about it. I haven't seen it.
So they have season 2 coming out, and I think there was so much controversy behind the first season because everyone loved him so much.
The stalker guy?
The bad guy, yeah. And he had to come out and say, this guy is not good. You don't want to like him, whatever. Well, the new season's going to focus on his early dark life. So, like, before all this stuff and, like, his history. So...
How dark is this guy?
It's bad, dude. You need to watch it. I can't even say anything because that's how... It's all spoilers.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you afterwards how bad it gets.
All right.
Because there's a plot point in it that's like, oh, dude, that makes sense. That's, like, legitimate, it would work in this scenario. Like, it was one of those things where, when you watch a movie and something just shows up for the movie and you're like, come on, man. That car just came out of nowhere.
Phoning it in.
Right. So this one is like, it's a very cool concept to have the show work this way. So I like it. I'll tell you afterwards what it is.
Talking about phoning it in, what do you think about did we talk about Toy Story yet? Toy Story 5?
No, we haven't. No, 4.
4? Come on.
Talking more into I can't hear
it's
you.
phony. They're phoning it in. It's just like...
Is that mic on?
I don't know. I think it might not be. It says on.
Oh, okay. Keep talking.
Is it on now?
There you go.
Does it work?
Yeah, there we go.
No, people are just phoning it in.
No, I heard it's amazing. I heard Toy Story 4 is amazing.
It's going to be terrible.
No, they're saying it is amazing. They're saying that it's completely original. That's the thing. All these different movies that come back out that are reboots, that are changing, they always keep a certain element. From what I've been told, this is like a next level. They're ending it the right way. So
This is the last one?
It's the last one.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Shaft?
Yeah. Where did that come from? It came out of nowhere. You know what the story's about?
I know there's like 3 guys that are all Shaft.
No, it's his son.
Right.
Something happens and his son's trying to solve the crime, and he goes, he knows his dad's Shaft, but Shaft doesn't know that's his kid, I guess, or something. And the mom's like, don't reach out to him. I don't want you to have anything to do with him. He's a player, or whatever. So, I don't know.
Well, there's like the guy that originally played Shaft back in the 70s in it too.
He's in it too?
Yeah, there's 3 of them. There's like a scene. Have you seen it at all?
I've seen some stuff, and
there's a scene where they're all wearing like matching jackets, walking out on alleyway.
Well, I will say, since we are talking about like that kind of stuff, did you see what they're trying to possibly reboot right now, which I'm down for 100%? They want to reboot The Matrix with Michael B. Jordan starring.
Who's Michael B. Jordan?
He's the one that played in Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
He was the bad guy. Kilgrave. Not Kilgrave. That's a different one.
I haven't seen Black Panther.
Killmonger. Okay, so he's also he's Creed. He's in the movie Creed. He's plays Apollo Creed's
so he's gonna be Neo.
Son. I think it's gonna be a new take or something like that. That's what I'm hopeful. I mean,
is it the same guys, the brothers? The 2 brothers?
Yes.
Like, who's doing it?
Yes.
What are their names again?
Yes, it is. Was it Wachowski?
Isn't one of them like a woman?
One of them had one of them transitioned. Yes.
Yeah.
So they just call them the Wachowskis, I think now, because before there was the Wachowski brothers.
Right.
That's what they went by.
Right.
Now it's different. So no, but yeah, it's the same people. They want to do it with Michael B. Jordan in mind. So
okay.
And then you know what? I do
That'd
think.
Be cool.
Here's the thing. Have you ever noticed like you always remember, probably right after high school, you'd always see these stories like on Entertainment Tonight, whatever, about how these movies were created for a certain person in mind.
Sure.
And whenever they didn't work out, it was because the person who was made for didn't take the part. Which usually about that time it was a Tom Cruise made for movie, or somebody else along that caliber. Now you don't see that. Now you see what they're doing is they're like, we're gonna legitimately just cast this person for a movie and then mold everything to it. So I don't know if it's gonna benefit or if it's gonna actually make things worse, because now you have, if you're a niche person, like, you know, some people just do comedy, but they want to delve into doing more serious stuff. Like, a good example is Dennis Quaid, who he was in that, what was it? Is it Cheaper by the Dozen? It was like, he's been in a couple comedy ones, but he was in Dog's Purpose, and now he's in that creepy one where he sells his house to his friend's daughter. Have you seen the previews for that one?
No.
And the preview shows her, they're a black couple, and they're like, so he's here mowing the lawn. And then he yelled at the guy going, why are you drilling holes in my house? He goes, it's not your house anymore. And he's like, really, it's just really creepy. But he plays the role really, really well. Plus he has his band too that played here at South County Fair. You know, last year, he actually adopted a baby. It was a pygmy pig, I think.
From the fair?
Yeah, he adopted it from the fair.
Did he eat it? Like, was he?
No, I think he raises them, or he rescues animals like that. I don't know, but you know, you don't see many characters now that everyone's kind of like, oh, this is what they do. You know, they're this kind of person. Mila Jovovich is always a post-apocalyptic fighter.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what she always is. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Then we have a couple. We'll do the stuff up before the sad stuff.
Sad stuff.
Yeah. So
What's happening?
Well, here's some funny ones. So Netflix got a petition that they needed to cancel the show Good Omens immediately.
Why? Wait, Netflix?
Yes.
I thought it was on Hulu or another one.
It's on Amazon.
Amazon, whatever. Yeah, one of those.
Right, and they petitioned Netflix
to get rid of it. Who did?
These people didn't know what it was. It's like a Christian coalition because it shows a demon working with an angel, basically to stop the end of the world. But the funny part is Netflix responded like they go, we're going to cancel it immediately and it will no longer air on our network. And it was really funny. You know what I mean? I just think it's kind of funny, you know.
That's hilarious.
You know, them just playing with it, going, oh yeah, we're going to cancel it. Yeah, we're going to cancel it. But I forgot to mention at the top of the show, go to all our platforms, facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter, FOMO_cast, and FOMO Podcast on Instagram, which I've been posting my chronicles of building this little kit here. And then I believe our YouTube's going to be youtube.com/FOMOcast. Check the Facebook, and I'll probably put a link in our Instagram once we get this all figured out. Let us know how you feel about this, and also patreon.com/FOMOcast. About all this, the different controversies. So let's just go to the sad part. So Netflix is losing The Office in 2021.
It's about time, right?
So they offered $80 million to keep it.
Who did?
Netflix.
Who took it off the...
NBC Universal, because they're starting the NBC app.
Oh, so they're going to put it on their app?
They're going to put it on their app.
So is everyone going to get their own app now?
I think the first one that started it was FX, started it a long time ago. That's why they split their channels up into FX and FXX. Because what they discovered was, I believe, Fox was like, because Fox owned them, they're like, hey, we can take this show that's not doing great, put it on FXX, because it's, you know, not much content on there, and hopefully bring it out. They did it with, I think it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They'll air reruns on FXX, stuff like that. But what they did was, when the Mayans MC, which we're going to talk about in a minute, when they debuted, if you got the FX app, you could watch it commercial free. But you had to be on the paid app. Because if you have a DirecTV account, you have the login. You can log into the app and use the app to watch it. You just can't bypass the commercials. So, you know, and they're doing that thing now too, where they'll give you like an early preview of a show, things like that. You know, so I think it's the way everyone's going, just because, I mean, it is a smart model. Because what happens, like, for me personally, I went out, as soon as I saw there was a sale on The Office on Apple TV, I bought all the seasons.
What seasons were there, 10?
9. So I bought all the seasons. I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just own it on my Apple TV, because what people don't know, for those of you that want to buy movies or television shows on your Apple TV, YouTube people too, it's all connected. Basically, it automatically upgrades to 4K. So when 4K TVs drop to the price of LED TVs are now, you basically can get everything in 4K and you don't have to pay an extra fee, as long as you have the, I think it's the HD version. Or even standard version, I think it auto, it basically upgrades it to a 4K version of standard definition. So that's what people need to realize is everyone's out there, but there are people that legitimately, the only reason why they watch a certain network is because all their shows on it. My mom loves CBS. She watches NCIS. She watches Bull. She likes those same kind of shows. And then she goes to Netflix for all the old British stuff that she doesn't get here. It is what it is. I think it's just smart for most of these people to do it because they're realizing eventually these DirecTV and Dish Network and all these companies are not going to want to deal with them, and they're just going to put the kibosh on it and cut them off. Like DirecTV now, I'm grandfathered in. That's the only reason why I still have it is because once I cancel it, I lose everything. Because they lost MTV, they lost all these different channels, but because I'm grandfathered in, they have to keep it because it's in my contract. So, you know, people, for those people that are young, you won't remember, but my dad had Prime Star, which was they got bought out by DirecTV. Well, the old school contracts, they had to honor them to the letter. So my dad had East Coast channels. It was just the way that the market, that everything worked. Because they didn't have expiring contracts. You had a contract with them. You had to submit 30-day notice kind of thing. So it's one of those things. But let us know what's your favorite app to watch stuff on. Go to facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter FOMO_cast or FOMO podcast. Just tell us, hey, you know, I love watching this app because it's so much easier. I like watching through the MTV app because it does give you a little less commercials.
Teen Mom 2, good show.
How Far is Tattoo Far is my new favorite show.
That's what we've been saying.
It's amazing. It got even better this last couple of episodes.
Better.
Oh yeah, good. So, and speaking of Mayans MC, season 2 premieres September 3rd. Really excited about it because people were upset about the first season. There's a plot twist that ends the first season that you have to watch and understand. But I'm thinking they're going to turn. I think it was an idea. It was one of those things where it wasn't a cliffhanger, but it was a reveal at the end of the season that made it to where the show could go 2 different directions. So they probably looked at all the feedback and were like, hey, let's go ahead and do this kind of thing. So it left it kind of open. So I'm really excited about that. The craziest news, besides, there's 3 things that came out that were kind of like, what the heck? So Marvel is planning 7 more Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. 7.
The current guy?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I think they might be. The rumor is that Captain Marvel is going to take over for the Avengers, so she'll be leader of the Avengers because those other people are mostly gone. And
they're just going to take Marvel till it's, like. Do you ever think they're just going to get to a point where people are like, no more superhero movies? Enough's enough?
I think with people looking at Wade Wilson, Deadpool, with his character. Also with the character of Logan in the Wolverine in the movie Logan, which those movies were for me personally, it felt like a movie that had a superhero tie. It wasn't a Marvel movie for me personally. It was more of just, this is, because it was cinematically so amazing. And I think that's where a lot of these movies are going to, is more maybe like a Mission Impossible-esque type of show or movie, where basically that's the subplot is you're indestructible, you're superpowers, whatever. But the reality is it's an actual action adventure. It has everything tied in. It's a cash cow though. You got to remember, like me being a kid growing up with comics, this is all I could dream of, was seeing everything live action. Going to Disneyland and seeing Rocket talk to you on Guardians of the Galaxy ride and tell you, my hands don't scan because he's a raccoon. He talks to you, animatronic, walking across the top of this building.
He walks like a robot?
Yeah, he's an animatronic, and he goes across the top of this little rack right in this one spot, and he talks to you. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. If you look up on YouTube, it has a video of it happening. So it's just they're bringing everything to life in a very, very great way. So I'm happy about that. The other shocking craziness was Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul both tweeted pictures. They just tweeted pictures of 2 donkeys or 2 mules, and it says soon, and that's it. So everyone's saying that they are basically hinting at a Breaking Bad movie.
About what? Like what?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The guy's dead. The guy, like he.
Spoiler. I mean.
Well, I didn't say who.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is everything's undoable. You know what I mean? I just don't know, like me personally, Bryan Cranston, knowing him as a creator, knowing him as an artist, and everything he's done.
It's gonna be good, right?
It's gonna be good, and it's also, I have a feeling that his portrayal or his involvement, he'll basically say he doesn't want to retcon certain things to make sure it doesn't undo the whole entire show.
Like any kind of plot, like
nothing's out, nothing.
Like the time, I don't like what.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So, we had that one, and then kind of funny news is there's 2 movies that are coming out, and they're both just started filming.
What's that?
Tell me which one you're more excited for.
All right.
Fast and Furious 9.
Yes.
Or Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2?
Yeah, with LeBron James.
Space Jam 2.
Me too. And I'm really hoping as soon as I saw this, I wanted to tweet out who's going to be the Monstars, all his former teammates that he doesn't like anymore, or all the people he got sent away.
So
how would be awesome would that be?
Who would that be? Who do you, so
just for you,
like
so for those of you who don't know, so the Monstars were the bad guys in the first one. So you got what's his face? What's the ball kid's name?
Lorenzo.
Was it Lorenzo Ball? Is that the one? So Lorenzo Ball. You'll have Lorenzo Ball. You'd have Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know, but that would be so amazing, wouldn't it? Like the dudes that because that's the joke with him is there's no animosity,
right?
But it felt toxic-ish when they would leave or change. So I was like, oh man, that would be like, and then have like a joke in the film, like, because for those of you that haven't watched the first one, it's old enough, there's spoilers, whatever. He gets saved by Bill Murray. In the end, Bill Murray shows up and helps him out. Well, what if it was Anthony Davis showed up in the movie to help him out beat the Monstars?
It's a very current event, right?
Very current event. If it's filming right now, it'd be awesome.
So, like, what's the plot? Is it the same plot?
Probably something similar.
Something
similar, yeah.
So they just it's like, kind of like a reboot, pretty much.
Kinda, and I know he was really excited about it. That's why he wanted to come to LA. That's why.
That's a lot. Like people say.
Well, he has a production company.
Yeah,
people don't know. Like, the coolest thing I ever saw was he told people that he wanted to, before he retired, he wanted to meet Warren Buffett, and he wanted to have a production company, like all inclusive. Like, for those of you that haven't watched Parks and Rec, or if you have, you'll know this reference. Entertainment 720. So basically, it's all inclusive. Like they do everything. Like, he wants to be the next Tyler Perry, basically. Because Tyler Perry has a huge studio in Atlanta. Like, it's massive.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It takes up, like, 2 or 3 blocks. It's, like, a huge studio.
That's where he has those movies?
Because he has a bunch of TV, like, a soap operas, too, that air on BET, I think it airs on, one of them.
No clue.
He has one that, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I'm really excited. I'm like, I think he can do good things with this studio. So we'll see what happens. Fast and the Furious 9... we'll see what happens. John Cena is replacing The Rock because The Rock did the Hobbs and Shaw movie, and apparently him and Vin Diesel are kind of at odds.
Because he's trying to take over the franchise?
No, so basically Tyrese basically went on this rant because he's having...
He's done that before, right?
Well, yeah. Well, he was having money troubles and he was dealing with baby mama, whatever. But
is he related to Dr. Dre or no?
I don't know. But he basically, because they filmed Hobbs and Shaw, that delayed the filming of Fast and Furious 9, so none of them were getting paid. So Tyrese I guess he's not getting job offers, and he knew he'd be in Fast and Furious 9, so he was like, this is about family, and you're going to go ahead and do this to us? And I was like, kind of like, okay, whatever. But
it's a business.
It's going to be over, and it's going to be crazy, as always, so I'm looking forward to that. And then other movie news, Tom Hardy is going to be back for, why do I keep calling it Spawn? Venom 2. So he's going to be back in Venom 2. And the rumor is that it will have Carnage played by Woody Harrelson. So
Woody Harrelson?
Yes.
Why?
So, because apparently he was in the cutscene or something from the first one. It's really amazing. I didn't watch the cutscenes. But we'll end the episode, short. I mean, it's been 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes. No, yeah, 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes. How do you feel about this? Well, before we do all this, make sure to just go everything. Go to facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter, FOMO_cast, FOMO Podcast on Instagram, and I'll share the link of the YouTube whenever I get it done or set up or whatnot. But how do you feel about Toys R Us coming back before the end of the year?
From the dead? How?
So it's something to do with the bankruptcy proceedings. There's some way that people can buy the rights or buy something tied to it that basically allows the person buying out the debt or something. There's a way to maneuver, to finagle it to where it works out, basically. And me personally, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. People didn't know. So 2 stores that went out of business, Circuit City and Game Crazy.
Game Crazy.
They both still have websites.
What is Game Crazy?
That was the game part of Hollywood Video. They still have websites. You can find Circuit City online.
Are you gonna buy stuff online?
You can buy stuff on there, just same as regular everything else. Because they still had stuff on there. It's something to do about, like, you can prevent someone else from getting the name, but you're better off selling it because it helps lower the debt, and it does something. Selling the name off does something. I don't know, but I think it's just kind of weird bringing it back like that so quick. It was just like it was out of the blue, and
so like the actual stores are gonna be back.
They said that the actual stores should be opening back up by the end of the year. Here's the thing. This is what I found was, I listened to a couple podcasts about it, and they're like, look, it's the end of your childhood, but here's the problem. They never adapted, ever. How do you think Build-A-Bear still makes a living? How do you think there's Build-A-Bears everywhere? You know why? Because they have an interactive experience that when you go into the store. There's nothing... They need to go back to the straight up big status Goldman Sachs with the toys out there for the kids to play with and try them. Have something where you could go, like I saw a Lego store when I went to the Bay. It was Pleasanton, I think it was. They had a Lego store there, and it was packed full of kids because they had this cool thing where you can get all the different colors you want. And it's like a, build your thing and take it with you, and they have all the kits. But you can sit there and play, and they have little things for the kids to do. So it draws people in. I had a friend that went to Harry Potter World, and he said, you know what the most awkward thing is when you go in to look at the wands, and the wands are $45, $50 a pop. They can actually change things, like you can make things happen in the park in the windows. Well, what happens when your kid gets picked? Because one person gets picked in the room of people. It's an experience. And they hand you a wand and you go like this and bad thing happens. Same as the movie. It's not a spoiler. It happens the same as the movie when Harry gets his wand. But basically they go, this wand has chosen you. So tell me you're going to tell your kid you can't buy that $50 to $75 wand. Tell me you're going to tell your kid no.
I don't have any kids, so.
But I'm saying, if you had a kid, would you tell him no? I couldn't.
Honestly, I don't think I'd take my kid to Harry Potter.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why?
Because I don't see my son enjoying that.
Oh. Well, guess what? I'm going to corrupt your child.
You're going to
corrupt the kid. I'm corrupting him.
I mean, you can buy him $50
when you come back from Korea with a wife and a kid, I'm gonna corrupt your wife and your kid.
Good luck.
I'm gonna do that.
All right.
But I just think hopefully Toys R Us takes a different approach. Hopefully they try and better what they did. We don't because.
So how I don't understand where do they get all this money from?
So basically, I believe when you file the bankruptcy like a business does, there's a time period where they basically put a freeze on all your debt. And basically you can get people to come together. There was some super rich guy that was like, hey, this is my childhood. I want to buy it. When we get some investors, get people together. So I think you have a period of time where you can have investors come in. They basically redo the board of directors. There's no more employees, basically. They basically start from scratch, but the structure stays the same. You pay off the debt, and then the bankruptcy gets wiped from the record, basically. So that's what the rumor is that's what's basically happening is like a restructuring kind of thing. So, I mean, we're going to see what happens. I'm hopeful that it's successful because I do remember being a kid, even when I go get video games, dude, I'd be in there for an hour because you're walking around and you're like, oh, what the heck is this? Because they had I remember that they started the thing that Target took over where they'd have the display of a toy that worked. and you'd push buttons or whatever, and it would do whatever the toy was supposed to do. And I just felt like the one in Modesto, man.
Isn't that a mistake though? Everyone's buying online. Like, why would you
gotta give them an experience, man?
Why would you want to hassle, put all the kids in the minivan, drive down to the store?
It's an experience, man.
Yeah, wouldn't you just rather just like go somewhere else? I don't know.
I don't know. My problem is like I buy stuff off of Amazon all the time. My whole kit, Amazon.
Wow.
But how do you know you're actually gonna like it? I think I'm a rare type of person. I don't know how if you do this.
Right.
I researched every single piece of that equipment for 2 months. Nobody does that.
I don't research anything.
My kid wants that Star Wars toy. They're gonna go over. They're gonna go buy it. And what do? Well, I want to see I want to see if my kid actually likes it. Take him to the store. Go look at it. You know what I mean? I think what they need to do is do like Walmart did. Walmart has the online setup where people can sell stuff through Walmart now. So I saw like stuff. I was like, "Hey, Walmart sells that? Oh, it's a different company kind of thing." But it's one of those things like, just let Toys R Us adapt to the times. I want to be happy. I want to, we'll see what happens. Well, I had fun today. It was a nice, quick one. We wanted to get one in there. We'll probably do another one Sunday, so Andrew can hopefully be here.
I won't be here.
Where are you going to be at hiking again?
Carmel.
Oh, dude, you're always gone. I'll hit up Andrew, so hopefully he can do it. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
And also, I want to say, great job at the opening of Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. It
Perfect.
was flawless.
Oh, did you go to that?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I wish, but it was flawless. The wait times were not bad. Their new system of doing everything was made it so the crowds weren't pushy. It was fantastic. I'm jealous of everyone that got to go. But, make sure, like I said, go to all of our stuff. Go to podbros.com, the Podbros Network. A bunch of new t-shirts up there for all the other podcasts. I need to find anyone out there that wants to hook us up, do a new logo for us, do whatever for a t-shirt design. I don't know what it has to be, but if you want to hit us up, go to facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter, FOMO_cast, FOMO Podcast on Instagram.
Do you give them money? Or
No, you give them a shout out. Let them know, hey, this is designed by so-and-so. And if you want to do that for us, be nice. What we'll do is we'll give you credit for it. I don't make any kickbacks off the t-shirts. It literally just goes to, it's like a deal they have with TeePublic.
Yeah.
It helps you get more sponsors because you have shirts out there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the goal, is eventually get sponsors and go to all that, and then also make sure to go to our patreon.com/FOMOcast. And for the FOMOcast, I'm Chris.
And I'm Titus.
And we'll see you next time. All right, perfect.
Andrew Kashner.
Yeah, he's a Cubs pitcher.
So what happened to you? What is this guy, like a rapist or something?